Ja Morant, it's time you act like an NBA player. It's like, come on, bro. You signed a deal for what, 5 years, 240 million to be on Instagram Live, toting a gun in the club at 2 a.m. Like, come on, bro. You are basically the face of the NBA. You have one of the hottest shoes out, the Nike Ja 1. You are one of the most talked about players, and you are one of the guys that the fans pay to come and see. So for you to be this careless, this reckless, toting a gun, you know, like it worked in your favor. You didn't get any charges for Colorado. They didn't have enough evidence. But you gotta fix some things in your life. And it starts with who you're around. That's what it starts with. You are now the breadwinner. You are. You signed that lucrative deal far as the Memphis Grizzlies. And of course, everybody around you wants a piece of you. But you need better people around you that you are in a better space. I don't, fans don't know what you deal with, you know, the anxiety that comes with having this type of lifestyle, being a breadwinner, everybody wanting a piece of you or wanting something from you or feel as though you owe them something. We don't know. But carrying a gun is not the answer. It's not the answer, you know. And your apology that you wrote, and I've seen everybody talking about, seems very sincere that, you know, you're dealing with some things and you want to stay away from the team and get some help. I applaud you for first admitting that you needed some help and you were dealing with some things and, you know, you had to get the necessary help. But people also want to say you want to be a thug or you want to be a rapper. I don't agree with those stances. Yes, you grew up with your parents. Your dad's at basically every NBA game that's a home game and some of your away games. So they're saying that you grew up with both parents. What issues do you really have? Just because he has both parents, we don't know what his upbringing situation was just because he had both parents. On the outside, looks like, okay, complete family, but we don't know truly what the dynamic was there of him growing up. And then people want to talk about, oh, you didn't grow up in the hood in South Carolina. We don't know. Because if you're not from South Carolina, where Ja Morant grew up, or you know Ja Morant personally, you do not know his growing up situation and what goes on in South Carolina. I don't think he's trying to be a rapper, you know. I think he's young. I believe he's only, 22, 23. You know, he's influenced by a lot of different things that he sees, and he just hasn't made the best decisions, you know. Some will say him being young is not an excuse, but him being young, he's going to have to live and learn on some things. But whoever is in his inner circle needs to make sure that he's not putting himself in certain situations that can jeopardize him being in the NBA or potentially not being a breadwinner for his family anymore. We know he's a great dad. He has his daughter at the games and provides for her and his family. So there's a lot of different things people are saying. I respect Paul Pierce for coming out and talking about his story, you know, because he got stabbed up and he mentioned at one point he carried a gun too. Like, being young and having that type of money probably is scary, you know? And they do have targets on their back with all the money that comes their way. Not everybody's happy for you when you're successful and you're making and you're known and your face is everywhere. So I respect some of the athletes that are coming out and speaking about Ja Morant because you can attest to what he's dealing with. But at the same time, Ja Morant, you're doing a disservice to the Memphis Grizzlies. Your team is supposed to be one of the top teams, and the team is sidetracked talking about you and what you're doing that has nothing to do with basketball, and they're trying to win games without you. And that's not fair to your team. You're not thinking about your team when you go and you do some of these things. They're saying that Ja Morant's going to be away from the Memphis Grizzlies for possibly 4 more games. Now, my question is to the Grizzlies. I know Steven Adams had an all players meeting. I think the day before or something like that prior to Ja having this incident. So it's like, I don't know. Ja Morant, you just gotta get right with some things and fix some things in your life. And I think you will be fine. Sometimes you just gotta say no to going out sometimes too. But I would like to know, what are the Memphis Grizzlies requiring of Ja Morant for him to join back with the team after this 4-game hiatus? What are the requirements? And what will be the consequences if he is to get in trouble again?